Hi guys, Ben at Carbo Creations. Last week I finished off painting Baby Groot here. This week, as promised last week, I'm going to build a little stand for him with his own little grass and a few other little details, so stick around and see what I come up with. I first got the idea to build a stand for Groot when I was in my local hardware store. I came across these little micro LEDs for $5 that light up and remind me of the fireflies that are in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie when they're on the Kree ship and they start coming out of Groot. So I wanted to work with that idea. Now there's been a couple of different variations and design ideas that have floated through my head. The first one being Groot would just be sitting at the base of a tree and the fireflies would be surrounding him. The problem I've had is getting the tree in proportion to Groot, because Baby Groot being, well, baby, and a large tree that would have dense foliage and being able to weave the fireflies in and out through the branches, it just wasn't going to look real good. So the next idea I came up with was to make a halo that will sit around Groot's head, and I can sort of interweave these through that halo as if the fireflies are buzzing around. So what I came up with was just this quick copper halo. It's just made out of 16 gauge copper wire, and I'm going to be able to sort of create that swarm of fireflies that'll just simply sit over Groot's head like this and give that impression that the fireflies are buzzing around. Now the stand itself, I printed off last week on my 3D printer. It's not the best prints in the world. I printed it pretty quick, pretty fast. There's some pillowing on top, and there's also quite a number of gaps around the layers, but that doesn't matter too much. It is a prototype, and I can fill a lot of that in with some no more gaps or some plaster filler. The idea of this base plate is at the bottom I have a little area for the box to go. I have an area where I can turn it on and off, and there's a hole that goes straight through so I can feed the wire through and then eventually wrap it around this halo. I'm also going to use some styrofoam to create a base and flock it with some sand and dry brush it to look like grass and put little tufts of grass in, just keeping with that green theme and Groot being obviously plant-based. So anyway, let's get to it. So I picked up a tub of this multi-purpose filler from the hardware store. It was only a couple of dollars. What I'm going to do is put a coat around the edge of the base here, and it's going to fill in all the gaps and imperfections in the surface. Up next is the base coat of paint. I'm going to use this primer filler to fill in any of the remaining gaps. I'm going to do the base in a gold bronze patina, so we're going to start off using the gold spray paint and then adding the brown shoe polish. The grassy hill I'm going to construct out of a piece of styrofoam cut to size, and then I'm just going to go around and shape it with a craft knife, sand off the edges, and then I'll cover it in plaster. I'm going to start off painting the base with a student acrylic sienna brown, and then I'll slowly dry brush on some other lighter browns and oranges and yellows just to give extra layers of colour and texture to the base. I picked up some paving sand from the local hardware store. What I'm going to use this for is to create texture for the grass. So I'm just going to cover the base in some PVA wood glue and then just sprinkle the sand on. Once it's dry, I'm going to use a couple of different greens to dry brush over the top so we get rid of the white colour and we give that green grass colour. Once the lights have been fed through and I've glued down the grassy hill to the base, I need to attach the halo for the lights. I'll do this using just a bit of dowel and some copper wire to attach the halo. I also picked up some craft moss from the local craft store. I'm going to use this to make a hedge. I also picked up some 6mm sisal rope from the hardware store. I'm going to break this down and use it to make little tufts of grass with some heat shrink around the end of it so it keeps all the twine together. And there we have it. So I finished off Groot's little diorama environment to set it on my shelf. With a few cheap materials you can pick up from the hardware store and a bit of creative thought, you can make something like this as well, and it looks really spectacular at night time. If you have any questions about what I've done in the video, or want some ideas or some help on how to do something you're thinking about, feel free to drop me a comment below. As always, you can follow me on my social media accounts at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and until next time, I'll see you later.